How many of you have been asked about leadership in a job interview or maybe even in a classroom setting? Almost all of us have or will face this question at some point in our careers. Why? Because leadership is a skill that everyone needs, whether you're managing a team or contributing as part of one. It's what drives growth and helps create stronger connections with those around you. In this presentation, I will answer two questions that will allow me to analyze professional encounters I have experienced and apply course topics I have learned in order to create a positive impact when it comes to leadership communication. Throughout this speech, I will cover concepts such as leadership skills and theories, intercultural communication, and civil communication. Question 1 asks, how can you use the information you have learned about leadership theories to develop your leadership skills? Understanding leadership theories can be useful and key information to know about when communicating effectively, especially if you hold a leadership position. Leadership theories offer different strategies in order to improve one's leadership skills. Leadership theories, as explained in our course, involve behavioral, situational, and transformational leadership. These theories offer different options on how to communicate effectively depending on the situation at hand. They each hold different value. In my previous job, I had a role as a trainer for new employees. I now realize that I subconsciously used the transformational leadership theory. This allowed me to set a goal for new employees I trained and motivate as well as inspire them to do their jobs to the expected standard of the company. Through this process, I noticed that I had to use emotional intelligence, which is a part of intercultural communication, and it was used in order to understand how my new team members felt and offer the proper encouragement to allow us to reach our goal. As John F. Kennedy said in his 1963 speech of Remarks for Dollars Trademark, he said, and I quote, "Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other." I believe that this quote holds true. In this case, it's about how leadership skills can improve based on adaptability and knowledge by knowing which leadership theory and skill to use in order to reach your desired result. Now, question 2 asks, think about the last job interview in which you participated in. How effective was the interviewer? What could he or she have done differently to improve the interview process? I believe concepts that are valuable for an interviewer would be active listening, as explained through civil communication, by having an open mind, withholding judgment, and respecting the listening process. Aside from active listening, I also believe it is important for the interviewer to have an understanding of their work culture. In order to give the interviewee an idea of what their norms and their values are at the company, and not only that, but to see if they can see themselves assimilating to their potentially future coworkers. The Indeed editorial team wrote Top Interviewer Skills for an Efficient Interview Process, and they wrote skills that made an interviewer efficient. Some of the skills that were listed included active listening, emotional intelligence, objectiveness, and conversational skills. For example, in my last job interview, I believe the interviewer was effective in some areas, but could have also improved in others. I believe he could have been more prepared in the sense of having a description of the job position. When I was there, he kind of seemed a little like he wasn't as certain of what the job position was about, so it kind of made me a little standoffish. But other than that, he also didn't seem to have specific questions for me. It was more like I was interviewing him. He was asking me to ask him questions. So I was a little confused on that part. But it seemed like he didn't really prepare and it was a little rushed as well. He was effective in terms of describing the work culture, portraying some decent conversational skills, and being friendly. In summary, I believe that my last job interview was not as efficient as it could have been compared to past job interviews, where the interview just seemed a bit more prepared. Throughout this presentation, my goal was to reflect upon personal experiences and apply course concepts I learned in order to develop and foster stronger leadership skills. I touched on points such as leadership skills, theories, and intercultural communication in order to connect these key concepts to my professional life. In conclusion, I believe that constantly expanding my knowledge and taking time to base my interactions in accordance to KEYS, which stands for knowing yourself, evaluating professional context, your communication reaction, and stepping back and reflecting are main points to abide by in order to further my leadership skills.